Welcome to tonight's edition of Creepypasta. Tonight we go ghost hunting in Pennsylvania. Ghost hunting. Throughout my years of college, I thought of myself as a sort of amateur ghost hunter. I would go out alone or in small groups of friends to graveyards or old broken down houses and take pictures and audio, searching back later for EVP, electronic voice phenomena, or anything weird in photos. I usually found something interesting, but most things were usually explained away as dust or reflections or wind. It wasn't until I went to visit my dad in Pennsylvania that I got my best shot of all. At about 12:45 a.m. on April 25th, 2009, I set out for the graveyard, 7 blocks from the apartment, to take some pictures. The night was uneventful, the graveyard was small, so there wasn't much to shoot. Just as I was about to head home, I heard a horrible scream near the path. My heart racing, I hurried back to the path, hoping it was a ghost and not a human. The scream was unworldly and really hard to describe. It sounded animalistic yet human, and a part of me was trying to convince myself I hadn't actually heard it, that it was all in my head. As I reached the path, I stopped dead in my tracks. Something that might have been a girl was crouched near a headstone. Her skin was sickly white, and her hands mutilated in nothing but twisted stumps, and her legs were stubby and stuck out of her body in strange positions. Breathing heavily, I snapped a shot. At the flash, the girl raised her hand. Her eyes were 2 black, empty sockets, and they stared into my soul. I suddenly felt like I was freezing and somewhat numb. I raised my camera again and took another shot. Bad idea. The creature reared her head back and let out another ungodly scream. It pierced my ears. I felt something warm and wet in them, as if she caused them to bleed. As she screamed, I shot another picture and began to run. I looked back to see her chasing after me. The way she ran was horrifying. The only way I could possibly describe it is for you to imagine a crab scuttling forwards instead of sideways. I ran and ran. I ran all the way back to the apartment. I ran upstairs, unlocked the door, and hurried inside. Locking it behind me, I fell to the ground and touched my ears. The blood had started to dry. There was blood. I hadn't imagined it. I developed the pictures the next day. The first one turned out completely black, while the second one turned out clear, but had no screaming girl in it. The third was the only image I have of her, though it is a bad shot due to the fact that I was starting to run. Since the incident, though, I've been cold when it's been warm, but I am constantly freezing. I can see my own breath when I exhale, no matter how hot my surroundings are. Every night I dream of her. She did something to me. Tonight's story was found on somethingawfuls.com's forum. The author of the story is named Evan Summers.